Besa docs my personal email and so many other people's emails. Welcome back to a new video. I am back with a recap. I am very late, I am very sorry, and I am very overwhelmed. If you're new here, hi, my name is Kat, and this year I decided to randomly just start doing recap videos. Before we start, make sure to like the video and subscribe if you do enjoy it. I post a new video every Friday at 8 p.m. UK time and occasionally on Wednesdays like today. Make sure to follow me on all my socials, especially on Twitter because I am really active on there. They are all linked in the description down below. You can also financially support me on Ko-fi. I saw a lot of you guys in my last video in the comments begging me to get a new microphone. I am currently using a semi-broken microphone that almost had me ripping my hairs out before recording this. Without further ado, let me recap 5 national finals for you. In chronological order because I finally managed to get my shit together. We're starting off with Luxembourg's song contest. Luxembourg served us chaos this year. After last year's really surprising interval acts, they got Conchita Wurst as an interval act. Oh, and as a host. She also had to stand there during a proposal that happened mid-show.
Oh my goodness. Oh, she's crying.
Originally, the selection was supposed to have a super final round, just like last year, but the broadcaster scrapped it entirely, like a whole day before the actual show. The voting was also insanely chaotic. For example, 0.5, who delivered an interesting performance, got only 16 points from the jury, but then swept the televote with 110 points. While watching the show and hearing the song, I thought it sounded like multiple different songs all at once. After some time, I finally figured out what those songs were. So one of those is Nights by Avicii. Just listen.
And the storm breaks through the night. Now it is time. You will remember my father told me when I was just...
Like, tell me you can hear it. Tell me. Of course, we also had an amazing voice crack thanks to One Last Time. And I would not forget the token disaster bop that we got thanks to Rafaela, and that song is still stuck in my head today. In the end, Laura Thorne won with La Poupée Monte le Son. At first, I really want Je Danse to win. I thought the song was excellent and the staging was actually really done well. It was probably the second best staging of the entire night. But 2 or 3 months later, I can't do math, La Poupée Monte le Son really grew on me and it somehow sneaked its way into my top 10/top 12. That said, I think it's time we move on to the next national final, which is Ethnikos Telikos. I watched this one in its entirety, just like Luxembourg's song contest, and I have to say, it wasn't actually that bad. I think Evangelia was really good. She gave an amazing performance, and I think it was actually really Eurovision ready already. Okay, Vale was a fun song, however, it did get a bit too football anthem-ish towards the end, at least for me. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I also loved Barb's performance. Sirens is an amazing song and it just tickles a part of my brain. And where the fuck is it? I need it on streaming! Of course, they also had Marina Zatti performing as the opening interval act, and she unfortunately was lip-syncing, and the sound mixing was really weird, but she did give a great performance nonetheless. Of course, we also had the YouTube chat being weird. As always, fork found in the kitchen. They were spamming that Claudia got arrested. And then they also started spamming that Hera Björk is in Mongolia. You know what? Looking back at this, I disagree with myself. This national final was actually kind of bad. Moving to another interesting national final, we have EMA, the Slovenian selection. I want to only talk about 3 songs here because these were, to me, the only 3 interesting songs. But again, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. So for one, we had this absolute gem. Divya was such an interesting song to me, and while I was watching, that song kind of woke me up, because I'm sorry, but I fell asleep. I like almost fully fell asleep during the show. My attention span is cooked. I know, you don't have to tell me. It's bad. It's bad. The two super finalists, however, were July Jones and Clayman. I loved July. Her performance was so good, and she is so insanely pretty. I'm sorry, but I love women. The winner, Clayman, delivered a really heartfelt performance with his song How Much Time Do We Have Left, where he was also upside down. I personally don't like the song. However, it is a really personal song, and it talks about Clayman's wife who was diagnosed with cancer. However, after his win, things took a turn. A day after EMA, Clayman posted a video on his YouTube channel where he impersonated all the winners starting from the year 2000. Among those winners are Dave Benton and Tanel Patar, who won for Estonia in 2011. To parody Dave Benton, Clayman darkened his skin to appear more black, something that is considered blackface. Blackface has a really long and harmful history, especially in Western entertainment, where it was used to mock and dehumanize Black people. While some may argue that Clayman's intent was not malicious, intent does not erase impact. Many people, especially people of color, found this very offensive and rightfully called him out on his actions. Dave Benton himself has said in an interview that he did not feel offended by the parody. However, one person's perspective does not represent everyone's perspective. And I think it's very important to acknowledge that a lot of people did find it offensive. Now, I do also want to acknowledge that I am white, and I'm obviously not speaking on behalf of people of color. I'm simply recapping what happened and highlighting the impact that Clayman's actions and that YouTube video had on a lot of people. It's really important to listen to the voices that were criticizing his action. At the very least, Clayman should have apologized, kind of like Angela Peristeri did in 2021 after she was called out for something similar she did once. What makes the situation even worse is that after receiving this backlash, Clayman went and edited his YouTube video, blurring the part where he was doing blackface to parody Dave Benton, only to later unblur it again. He was very much aware of the controversy, which he also stated in an Instagram post that followed a few days later, but he chose to double down and said that he took some time to decide whether or not he should actually do blackface for the video because he knows it's wrong, yet he still chose to do it. Conversations like this are really important, and I hope that broadcasters and artists alike really start taking more responsibility for how their actions come across, especially on platforms as big as Eurovision. Now let's move on to something a little lighter, which is Eurosong, and I've already lost half of my voice, so this is great. If I'm being honest, there is not much to recap here. We got an amazing performance from Gustav. We got another banger with unfortunate staging. Thank you, Le Manu. And, of course, Mentissa. I love this woman so much. I could write an entire essay. I love her song. Désolé was amazing. 10 out of 10. No notes. Amazing staging. Amazing music video. Should have won, in my opinion. The other songs were also all really amazing. I'm just not going to mention them here because they weren't like all that special to me. The winner, Red Sebastian, was obviously also amazing. His vocals were on point. I really like the staging. Although I do think they could have done a little bit better with the camera work in general. The song is also really good, although it did age like milk for me. I also forgot that Emily De Forest was in the jury panel, and she was kind of everywhere this national final season. This is an insanely short section. It's like 1 minute long, but I think the Belgian Eurosong was probably one of like the most sane national finals this year. I genuinely don't know about anything that happened, so moving on to Benidorm Fest, which was actually okay, with a few bumps, of course. Teresa's performance, for one, which featured a middle finger and this absolutely amazing thong. Daniela Blasco also gave an absolutely amazing performance in the semifinal, but received a lot of criticism for her insane use of backing tracks in her performance. She took the criticism and toned down the backing track for the final, which I think kind of caused the performance to lose its charm. It was really unfortunate because I really liked the song and I also really liked the performance, but it is how it is, I guess. La Chispa also had a lot of issues with her vocals, especially in the semifinal. Her vocals were definitely not the best, but she also took the criticism and improved a lot, like truly a lot, in the final, and unfortunately got a really underwhelming placement. Of course, I'm not going to end the video without talking about Melody, who won this election. I don't like Essa Diva. Her performance was campy, although I still don't know why she did that hair helicopter move. I also don't know what happened here and why Twitter was saying she was having a stroke. I did not write an outro for this video. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next week for a brand new video. Do I have a clue what it's going to be yet? I don't think so. Thank you as always for joining me. Make sure to subscribe and I'll see you next week. Anyways,
Bye.